Testing, testing. We'll go ahead and start in a moment. All right, everything looks like it's working. Let me just check Twitch. Make sure Twitch is working. I was thinking instead of Twitch doing Twitter, but we'll see. Spaces are a thing, I think. How does one make sure that this is working? Perfect. All right, everything's working as it should be. Let me do this real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay. Am I sharing the audio? Yeah, I'm not. Okay, perfect. So that's one. I'm pulling up some stuff. I'll start in a second, but I'm pulling up some stuff to just prove a point. That's two. We got only a couple more to go. Wow, that's impressive, actually. It's three. This is four. This is five. There's just three more, and then we can start. You'll see what this is about in a moment. Oh, that's so cute. If I can remember. That's six. That's seven. One more to go. I can only remember. Oh, yeah. All right, there we go. Perfect. And the last thing I want is esports charts. Is that what it is? I think so. Recent tournaments. Where's MSI? Why can I not find MSI? CLOL, Midseason Invitational. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn on the fan. It's a little warm. Okay, there we go. I think that looks good. All right, I have everything ready. I wanted to make sure that everything was ready. So first and foremost, Faker is, yeah, he's inducted to being, where do I find this? There we go, the Hall of Fame, or whatever you want to call it. He's been inducted, and there's been a lot of debate about whether he should have been or not. So I'm going to talk about that very briefly. And I think a lot of people are disappointed that it takes away from the value of the Hall of Fame if you put in people that have not, ow, that hurt, that haven't actually retired, I just think don't treat it like a Hall of Fame. Treat it like something else. That's what I think. Treat it like something else. It is a way to, yes, it's going to make money, but at the same time, I think it makes sense to recognize your best player ever. And I would be very happy if he's the only player to be in the Hall of Fame that is currently playing, and every other player is retired. If we start getting people like Chovy and Viper, and well, he's not the most popular, but like, Chovy and Guma and other T1 members, then I have a problem with it. But as of right now, I'm going to reserve judgment. That's sort of my approach to it. But I can see why people are upset, right? That being said, that's like the secondary thing. The first thing I want to talk about is North American teams. And, ooh, there's one more actually. Riot Games. Where is Riot Games? The LCS in general. And how disappointed I've been with the LCS. The split. It just... I understand that some of the content that they had planned ended up, like, dying out. But I still don't think that's an excuse. So we're going to go to this. We're going to start with Riot Games, the LCS, and then we're going to move our way through all the teams. So let me figure out how to do this. Scene. Yes, perfect. Okay, so okay, yeah. That is not how I want this to... No, wait, man. Sometimes things are hard. Maybe I'm old, that's why. No, stop, por favor. I don't want you to do this to me. Okay, let's do this. I just want chat to appear. I want to be able to see chat, and in case someone says something. Okay, I'll put it here for now. You can kind of sort of see, but it's okay. T1 versus BLG had almost 3 million peak viewership. That's just peak, right? The amount of people, the amount of airtime was 77 hours. The amount of hours watched, 78. That's just an incredibly large number. 78 million hours. Like the average viewers was about 1 million each match, and the peak was around 3. The reason I bring up these numbers is because they're, I guess the best analogy is if you went to the United States for like high school or college, you have these things called career fairs. And in career fairs, what happens is you have all these different companies. They all come together at the same time. They all come, and actually I want to figure out how to do this a little differently. I think that might be a little bit better. Okay. Oh boy, I have no idea how to do this, actually. All right, while I'm figuring out... Oh, that is not what I wanted. Okay, delete this. How do I delete that? Remove. Yes. Okay. I think this is how you do it. Okay. And then I pick... Yeah, it doesn't show up. That sucks. Actually, it might be here. 1 second. There we go. Okay. All right. Here we are. This looks perfect. Okay, that's what I wanted to do, and it works. Let me just turn on my camera. And you can't see me because I don't know how to do this stuff. There we go. I'll make myself a little smaller. Perfect. Okay, sorry about that. I got distracted. In America, in high schools and whatnot, you have what is called a career fair. And a career fair is when a lot of different companies all come up and show up to the same exact spot. And it works in 2 different ways. One, it's very beneficial for the students because when you have all these different companies that might be offering internships or scholarships for further education or jobs or whatever it is, it's very easy for you to hand out your resume and get sort of a step in, right? So it's beneficial to the student. It's beneficial for the company because all of the students are going to be there. Sometimes not even just from your school. Sometimes other schools might have their students come over. And if it's like a really good school, then you know that if you get this resume from this person, it's a very good resume and you probably want to hire that student, right? Because you have a relationship with that university or that school or whatever. It's beneficial to both parties. Now, League of Legends MSI tournament is kind of like that, where all of the attention, all of these teams around the world are coming to play against each other, and all the attention from all the leagues, right? If you're an LCK fan, if you're an LPL fan, if you're a CB LOL fan, like whatever fan you are, all of the attention is on this tournament, on this MSI, right? And to not show up is just, it's a sin. Like it is a sin of marketing. It is a sin of everyone that complains of anything in the LCS. The fact that you have these millions of viewers, on average, 1 million viewers, and you come here and you decide to actively do nothing, and then you complain that LCS viewership is going down. Well, you had every opportunity. You had the biggest opportunity to get known, to get people to care about you, to be interested in you. You had all this opportunity, all this time for 16 or like 19 days, right? Where millions of people were watching, and you didn't do anything. And then you have the audacity to complain. Like, you're hiring interns. What are they doing? Like, Cloud9 was hiring interns. I think NRG are hiring people for like social media management. What are they doing? They're doing nothing. They're not there when it really matters. If I told you that there was 100 companies and you're jobless and they're all going to be there and you can go and apply, and then you don't go and apply, and then you complain that you don't have a job, well, clearly you're not doing, like, you had a golden opportunity. You were being spoon-fed attention, because guess what? Once the games end, there is so much attention. So many people like Kelsey Moser and Monte Cristo and like Yamato Cannon will send out his video and like get all this viewership because the teams, the orgs, LCS isn't doing anything to grab your attention. And so I will shift our attention to this over here. The LCS during MSI, regarding MSI, has published 0 videos. I'll say that again. During MSI, there was no dive. I think I can forgive them for that because someone's family member passed away on the dive crew. I completely respect it. My condolences. That still doesn't mean that Raz can't make a short talking about the games. That still doesn't mean Emily and Raz can't do a 5-minute debate and post it as a video. It's just, it's ridiculous. Look at the shorts, right? Let's look at shorts. They did publish shorts, and there's viewership on this. That's like what I don't understand. You see that there's like some viewership on your shorts, and like that there's so much attention right now, and yet you don't capitalize on it. That's what I don't understand. It's like, it's not that it's not proven, right? It is proven. And on their LCS, I'm not saying they didn't do anything. What I'm saying is they didn't do enough, especially the LCS, because you have all this opportunity, and while highlights are cool, and there's the bare minimum, and I think they did the bare minimum, so I'm not going to call them out on not doing the bare minimum, but there's just so much more that you should be doing. The views are here. The people care. You can see, like, just do a little bit more. Whoever's being paid, and yeah, give us videos, give us more shorts. There was 19 days. You only did when it regarded the LCS. You didn't talk about anyone else. Like, there were 19 days of solid gaming. You didn't even give us 19 shorts, right? Honestly, that's less than the bare minimum. We don't even see 19 shorts regarding the LCS, regarding MSI. All of that attention, all of that viewership is like right there, and you're not taking advantage of it. I don't understand it. And that's just the LCS. Now, there are teams that have sinned far beyond LCS. So we're going to go through organizations one by one to see how much content they posted about MSI in order to get that sort of MSI viewership. It's almost like a gold rush. There's all this gold that's on the streets. And instead of running out and just grabbing free gold, it's going to be a little bit of effort because you have to shovel the gold into, like, you know, your cart or whatever, and like it's physically tiring. Sure, I can see some argument of like, oh, it's a little too hard for us to do this, but yeah, I mean, it's gold. The amount of effort, the effort to result ratio, is so high in the result favor that it's sinful. So let's start with NRG, right? So in NRG in the past month, they didn't post anything, right? So no MSI content whatsoever. They were not even boot camping. So whatever. Let's say the teams are on break. Let's look here. Description. They posted this April 21st, before MSI even started. So during MSI, the entirety of May, they did nothing. Nothing League of Legends related, nothing MSI related. All of that attention, just they didn't want any of it. And actually, I'll do this just for the sake of like comparison. As someone who's extremely small, right? I'm extremely small, and it's not even close. There's so many things I could do better. I have a whole video coming out on this. But as someone who's like extremely small, when I go to my analytics and I go in the past, let me just do it was May 1st to the 19th. That was MSI, correct? Yes. So span of like 19, 20 days. See more. Let me put this here. I think now you should be able to see it. 14,000 views. That's not even counting how many videos I posted. This is only the top 50, by the way. 214,000 views. I'm like so small compared to these other organizations. And the fact that I can get almost 250,000 views, the fact that over almost 2 million people, or I had 2 million impressions, as someone literally who was doing this as a hobby. And you have professional players who people care about. People don't want to hear what I have to say. People want to hear what you have to say. People want to hear what Contracts has to say. They do. And you're not doing that. It's just it. And then we go and blame Riot. Like, look, Riot has made systemic issues for the teams. I understand it's complicated. This is like not even the medium or time and place for that discussion. But at the end of the day, the teams are sitting around crying and not doing what they can, right? You can complain, you can complain, Riot, these things need to change. And at the same time, you can actively do what's in your hand. Don't throw away all of the options because the big one or two options Riot isn't letting you do. Like, all right, we move on. So this was NRG. Yeah, well, next should be a little bit better. I have a comment here. Oh, okay. Immortals. All right. Immortals has some video. It has a video here that has absolutely nothing to do with MSI. Okay, well, you're not relevant. You have MSI happening. The biggest, like we just showed, there's so much viewership for MSI. And what does Immortal do? Immortals are like, you know what? We're just going to make a video that has nothing to do with MSI. What is this logic? I don't how are you relevant? That's like a news outlet. If, I don't know, World War Z happens and the news outlet decides to talk about a cat on a river. Like, come on. This is ridiculous, man. Let's look at the shorts. I haven't looked at all of them. I haven't seen. Okay, I can understand why they're doing this. Clearly presented by DX Razor. It's a sponsorship thing. They had to do it, right? But the players were there. It's really not hard to grab your phone, do a 30-second reaction to a clip from like MSI or something, or talk about like a player that you played against, maybe Eddie. Tactical could talk about a time when he was an MSI and like relate to his experience, talking about, Jan glowing up or anything, dude. There's just so much. It's ridiculous. Do I have to go through all 8 teams? I'm getting frustrated at this. All right, well, Immortals, with their 56,000 subscribers, did nothing. Completely useless. Like, this is ridiculous, man. It only gets worse. It only gets worse. 100 Thieves did absolutely... Oh, that's not the button that I meant to click. Did absolutely nothing. What I don't understand is you had the team already together. They haven't posted anything this whole year anyways. Forget it, man. They didn't... They were boot camping when MSI was happening. They were boot camping. It really takes no time to turn on the camera, the webcam, and just talk about the game that happened between G2 and TES. Talk about Team Liquid beating Fnatic. Dude, how does every organization not utilize the fact that NA greater than EU and talked about it? This is ridiculous. This is, by the way, the bare minimum, but there's a bare minimumer, and we're going to get to that later, that organizations haven't done, which is absolutely ridiculous, which is just existing. They just... Not only are you not posting content, you're not existing. Or when you do post it, it's for your sponsors and not in any way, shape, or form related to what's happening in the world. FlyQuest, well, they had their cool reflection thing before MSI, which is cool, right? It's a good start. We're going that direction. And then they have the patch stuff. Nothing about their player. Okay, they're competing in the event. Not an excuse. Straight up, not an excuse. The shorts, I think this just is from their video, so it has nothing to do with. Yeah, this was even before finals. They just don't even care. It's bad. Hey Mel, it's so frustrating because they pretend they care. That's the problem. The problem is that they pretend they care. They talk about it as if like, oh my God, viewership is going down, and everyone is worried about viewership going down, and they're doing all these things. They got rid of 2 teams in the LCS because the team owners came together. Steve did this whole presentation about viewership and how like it would increase. They did all of this stuff because at the end of the day, it's their lifeline. It's the reason that they're going to stay, especially moving on to the next model that we're moving. You're not getting a stipend anymore. You're getting money based on how well you perform socially, right? These numbers are going to matter. And when you're not even posting and complaining about viewership, this is ridiculous. And when you do post, it has nothing to do with what's happening in the world. How can you not talk about MSI? Everyone and their mothers was talking about it, and you as an organization aren't? They pretend, then blame Riot, like you said. Yeah, it's so frustrating. Like, okay, Team Liquid had this really cool thing where it's like, okay, we played against fans at MSI. I think the title and thumbnail was not it, in my opinion. I think this title and thumbnail was not it, in my opinion. I think they had much better, like this one, I also think it wasn't the greatest, but this is a really cool thumbnail, in my opinion. And I think this, they tried. They made like some videos. This is documentary. I felt like the timing wasn't where you wanted it, but regardless, they made some effort. And I think they actually did some shorts that had nothing to do with like actual MSI. Like they put it on Twitter, but they didn't put it where everyone would see it, like YouTube and TikTok. They didn't actually publish their players talking about how they felt after the game, and they only did one video. Like, how many people want to hear from APA before he plays against TS? The entire North American scene. I'm not a Team Liquid fan, and I wanted to see what they were saying, right? So people from EU probably wanted to hear something, and they did nothing, dude. Okay, the crazy thing is, let me pull this up. You're gonna laugh. This is facts. Yeah, this is ridiculous, right? Videos. Let me go to playlist. Actually, it's probably easier to find it. View full playlist. Don't look at my other playlists. I didn't realize I was going to show all of them. Where is my man? Jan, right here. 4,000 views of me just talking to Jan, right? I'm a nobody. I have less than 2,000 subscribers. Team Liquid has multiples of my subscribers. You know how easy and how much access they have? Like, look at the numbers of views that they get compared to what I get. And they didn't do it. Like, you would have 100 times more. And it's not that they don't know this. They do. Look, they try. They do stuff. They just don't I don't know what goes on. It's not an excuse to be like, oh, we're competing. Draymond Green, basketball is so much more intense than video games. Like, it is so much more intense, right? Just win or lose at the highest level against it doesn't matter. He goes and he does his podcast. I'm not even asking for a podcast. I'm asking for give me 5 minutes, man. Come on. Yeah, I'm not even on Twitter, but I've been asking for more API content since last Worlds. Everybody wants that. Like, it's not a secret. We're here yelling it at the top of our lungs, and they say, we hear you. Let's make another documentary about Core JJ that nobody asked for, give it a bad title and thumbnail, and then say, oh, it flopped. That means we shouldn't do them. Like, this was great, honestly. I feel like the first 8 minutes actually could have been better. The first 8 minutes, I think, is probably why it has a lot less viewership. I think the title, the thumbnail, like, could have some things to improve, but that's like nitpicking, right? At least they're trying. But my problem with that is, like, you try something, it doesn't work. You're like, oh, people don't want to watch this. No, you just suck at it. Like, all right, the demand is there, but the effort isn't. Exactly. And so many times I'll hear them say, oh, we make this cool content and people just don't watch it. The fans think they want it, but in reality, they don't. No, you are disrespecting the platforms on which you are posting. You are giving me horrible titles, horrible thumbnails. Oh, they've gotten so much better, but like, look at this. What? I don't even know what's going on here. And then you're complaining, like, These are objectively bad title and thumbnails. And then you complain that you're not getting viewership or that people aren't watching your videos. Look at, where was the Immortals one? Look at this. What is player Pat? Like, I don't even know anything. Like, I look at this and I don't want to watch it because of how confusing it is. This is actually better. But again, I don't know who these people are. I'm assuming this is Castle? I can't even tell. I don't know who that is. Like, yeah. Why would I don't get it. They don't do a very good job at the product and then blame the people for not watching it and then just don't do anything. It's ridiculous. Blaming viewership is part of the problem. Yeah, look, if you're not doing a good enough job, people aren't going to watch. It's very simple. When it comes to YouTube, it is completely based on merit, right? I don't want to say completely because there are some people who might get whatever. It is heavily based on merit. And if you're not getting views, it's because people aren't watching because it's not interesting, right? And maybe the video is great and your title and thumbnail suck. That's part of the game. You are disrespecting the game. It's like not buying items and wondering why you're not doing damage. But I got the first 3 kills. Why am I not doing any damage? I don't know. You're up 2 levels with 0 items. You get 1v1 by the support. Just it's ridiculous. Yeah, these guys, Shopify, I mean, the last LCS related thing was this here, right? The FanFest. I watched this on Twitter, but this stuff isn't LCS related. Their shorts were not LCS related. I know why they didn't do any content. I talked to them about it. They're like, look, we're still trying to figure out what we're doing. We're new here. Give us time. And so I'll respect that. I still think that they were bootcamping in Korea. They were posting stuff on their Twitter. I really think they should have posted some stuff. They went with a different route. I respect it, but at the end of the day, I disagree with it, right? At least they thought about it. They thought about it and they're like, we have these 2 options. We're doing option B and we'll see the fruits of that. I still think it was wrong, but still, like, I have to call them out. Where's the content, guys? Like, where is it? You're doing all this other stuff for Valorant and I think the Rocket League or whatever, but your LCS team needs to be talking about MSI when MSI is happening. You can't not do that. I hate this narrative that IMT and Dig try because they post content. If they were posting videos people want to watch, people would click. It's their algorithm. It's in their algorithm, but it looks like a generic sponsor. Content people won't click. Exactly. I completely agree with you. You're posting videos that people don't care about. You can't just make a video that you're like, oh, we think people want this video, and then people don't watch it. Like, what is this? First of all, I can't even tell this is a Dignitas video. This Dignitas logo is so small. Maybe this one would tell me, but like when I first looked at it, I couldn't tell. All I could tell was that there are people here and an LCS logo and a question mark, right? And in general, like for thumbnails, that's sort of the concept that they say. Like, you can have up to three things in a thumbnail. More than that, and you kind of lose focus. This thank you, I can barely read it. Like, I don't even know who these people are. I can barely see anyone's face. The reason this one got views is actually because of Catliente, or I don't know how to pronounce her, but she's like a very famous content creator, and pretty sure that the title was actually not bad. And so it got views. But the rest of the stuff, look at how much is going on here. I don't even know. My videos get more than this. Like, this is how ridiculous this is. My videos get more than this. You are a professional organization with 4,000. Oh, that's a little, but you have 4 times subscribers that I have. The fact that your own subscribers aren't watching your videos means they see it and they don't click on it because it sucks. That's just that people aren't clicking on your videos, and probably when they are, the intros aren't very good. And so they're not going to watch. The other thing that's like a concept is you can do some really cool highlights, really cool edits and stuff in the middle of the video, but it won't get seen because your intro was basic. If you're going to put a lot of effort, it needs to be in the beginning of the video. Like, look, I've watched a bunch of their stuff because I think that the people that actually edit are actually really good. I just think there's stuff that they need to do different. Their choice of title and thumbnail, like, I mean, you probably want to put someone else on here. You probably want to put, like, yeah, I don't even know what this means. What do you mean redeemed or doomed? I don't know what this video is about. Why would I click on it? And I think it shows only 300 people. I was one of them because I knew what this was about, but I saw it on Twitter, but whatever. SR get a pass for now, for sure. Yeah, I don't want to be like biased because I'm an SR fan. Like I straight up talked to them as well. I went out of my way. I actually had a question. They kind of helped me out with it. But I did go out of my way to talk about it when we were having a discussion and be like, look, you guys need to utilize it. And like, look, we hear you, but we're prioritizing the summer split. And these are the things that we need to do in that time. And so we're just not going to be able to do both. We don't have the resources yet because I'm a one-man army. Like there's literally just one employee and he can't do both. And they decided to focus on summer split. I respect it. I think it's wrong. Yeah. Preach it, brother. Thank you. So this was Dignitas. They posted something. I completely understand this video, right? This one was before MSI. I completely understand this video. You want to make an announcement. You make an announcement during MSI. They didn't do anything else. You forgot to... Okay, I'm sorry. Look at how many shorts they have. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 shorts. This is ridiculous. Dignitas. Okay, I'm sorry, but Silvex, you work on this. You work on this and you don't make shorts out of the videos that you make. Honestly, Dignitas is probably very well suited to make shorts out of their videos because their videos are actually like well produced. And if you just clip them, no one's actually going to care about the title and thumbnail. Like you have an advantage where people don't care about the title and thumbnail and you can actually like do some damage in your shorts. But come on, you gotta do something, man. 133 videos, come on. I had more of these. That's like, yeah, in a month I do more than this. All right, Cloud9, our favorite Cloud9. Now Cloud9, popular, probably one of the top organizations. They definitely get this. They understand how important it is, right? They made some MSI content. Let's look. Oh, the MSI tier list 2 weeks ago. Now, I'm going to open up this video and tell you what they don't understand what relevance is. This was posted on May 7th. So 7 days into MSI, they posted a tier list about the teams when teams had already been eliminated. They were 7 days late. And in this, it's not relevant. It just isn't. Why did it take you 7 days to publish a video that you recorded before MSI started? It took you at least 8 days to do this. What? And then you complain that it still got like 15,000 views. That's the thing. That's what's so silly. If they just had these two players every single day for 5 minutes, talk about the games that happened, their own opinion, maybe some experience that Sven when he was playing against Knight or Chovy, like whatever it is, and then take 30 seconds of those, clip them and put them on, as shorts and TikToks. They would be at like 60,000 subscribers. Easily. And they would have gotten so many international people to look at Cloud9. Yet they didn't. They did nothing. Like this is related to MSI. This is not related to MSI. This was 6 days ago. This was during MSI. This was after MSI. This was after MSI. Like, you're not relevant and you're not on time. That's not the button I meant to click. And yeah, nothing related to MSI at all. Just, this is like an ad that came out in April, I think? Yeah, beginning of April. What are you doing? How are you being paid? I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to take someone's livelihood, right? I'm not preaching to take someone's money away. But like, what are you doing? How are you being... You're these people are hired, right? You have like a whole media... You have... I don't know if you do brand, but if you're Cloud9, you have a marketing department. You have a marketing team that is not marketing. If you're the LCS, if you're any organization, you have a marketing team and like a content team. First of all, they should be working together because marketing and content goes hand in hand nowadays. But like, what is going on in this world? And I will show this to conclude and show how different teams do it differently. Wait, don't I already have it open? Yes. Okay, let's go to like something like this, right? This is a Zeus interview. He's talking about 3-0ing G2. Look at the top comment. G2. G2 is actually going out there and commenting. Look at where is the Romain interview that I did? Must have been before. Honestly, anytime G2 is mentioned in anything, like I'm pretty sure PS, did they comment here? I don't know if they comment here. Oh, I didn't get any comment on this one. Okay. Here, Romain interview. Look, G2 commented. Romain, every single thing, every place that G2 is mentioned, their socials are there. They are relevant, they are on time, and they're commenting. Not a single FlyQuest, like, how often do you see a tweet from FlyQuest that's not, oh, they're down 2-0, or Cloud9, they're down 2-0. No one's, surely they won't be reverse sweep and make like a meme, a passing meme. And that's it. Like, yes, you should do that stuff. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but at the end of the day, there's so much more. Like, you're not commenting, right? Comments are very important. Comment is a very big way of like exposure, right? And you're not doing that. You're not exposing yourself to people who are there. The whole approach seems generic, copy-paste ideas. Pros guess X rank. X-Pro answers generic questions. Pro players, would you rather? It's all stale. I agree. I think there's like a time and place for that. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying and. There's a time and place for that. The off-season is a great time to do that kind of stuff because there's no league being played. But when MSI is running, and you're not talking about it when there's like 3 million people on an average day watching, or 1 million people, like, we don't have 10% of that viewership, man. You want a piece of that pie. That's the pie you want to be talking. You don't want a pie from like LCS viewership. Come on. Yeah, great point on social presence. They're not there. I don't know what they're doing. Like, why are these people being paid? I'm not saying they shouldn't be paid. I just want to understand what they're doing on day-to-day. Like, where are they? Are they locally? Like, are they doing watch parties in California, which they're definitely not because it's 2 a.m. at that time. Are they going out with watch party? Are they doing brand deals with or like collaborations with local boba shops and getting people who are watching? If you watch MSI, or if you give in like your predictions, you write your predictions about which team's going to win or something like that. And if you get it right, then you get a free boba. Like, are you doing that? Are you doing stuff to make people care about Cloud9? Hell yeah, exactly. Just seems like the bare minimum to hit sponsor requirements. Yeah, it really, like, you saw Immortals. They wouldn't have posted anything if it wasn't for their sponsor requirement. It's criminal. That would be sick. I know. I'm in Maryland. No one has thought to make some sort of connection with I'm not saying like geolocate, right? But every single team is in LA. I have never seen, heard, or been made aware of teams doing stuff with local businesses. Because guess what? At the end of the day, the people that are showing up to LCS are living in LA. And if you can't get the people that are your neighbors to show up, and that the LCS can be empty at times, and that you don't have, it's not so packed because it's a small stadium. It's not so packed that every single game that Cloud9 plays needs a watch party at a different location because of how packed LCS is because Cloud9 is playing. Then Cloud9 is doing something fundamentally wrong in their marketing. People care. You don't give them a reason to care about you, but people care. When T1 plays, guess what? There are people who literally live in hotels. They go to a hotel, they stalk that place, they go to multiple hotels where they think that T1 is at, and they will sit there and camp there. They will buy a room just to camp there to see if they will get a chance to see Faker or to see Carrier. They care. People care, dude. And sure, we don't have that type of celebrity here in North America, but that's because you never created that kind of celebrity and their culture, whatever. There's a lot of reasons. But if you are not doing in the effort, the proven effort, look at your content creators. Your own content creators do more. You had the Medios doing like the sort of podcast thing with players. I love it. I want you to do more of it. But like, where was it during MSI? Like, why are you shooting yourself in the foot? And I don't want to just harp on Cloud9. Like, Cloud9 at least did something, right? Well, did they do anything related to MSI? Yeah, they posted a video like a week late about MSI. At least they did something, right? I think Team Liquid did the best out of everyone, where like they actually posted some shorts and they tried to do some videos. Like, kudos to them. They had a whole docuseries like ready for their player, Cordy J. Honestly, I think with a little bit of a little tweaks, they could have done much better. I don't think they're far off. I think that they have new like content creators that are doing the media and stuff. So I'm willing to give them time. The closest thing I've ever heard to local watch party arcade bar downtown player LCS a couple times caused one of the workers wanting to put it on, so no team effort. Michigan, by the way. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I was born in Michigan. Actually, I used to be there. Um, yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, it was really bad time for like watch parties. Like to be honest, for MSI. Funny how a week later, tier list is better than 6 out of 8 teams. A week late tier list is better than 6 out of 8 teams. That's ridiculous, man. Ah, isn't it better than 7 out of 8 teams? Like who else? It's only Team Liquid that did anything. That's so sad. Sometimes sad things make you laugh, but I the thing is, it's not like they don't know this. That's what frustrates me. They clearly knew, like in Cloud9's perspective, and go back to them because they're probably like they've been on the top for quite some time now. They saw an opportunity to make a tier list. They saw that all these tier list videos are getting like all these views. Well, C9 is 1 out of 2. Oh, I see. Yeah. They saw that everybody's making these tier lists. Yamato Cannon. Okay, let me pull this up. This is hilarious, by the way. Yamato Cannon tier list did a meme where he's ranking tier lists of tier lists. So he went around, got all the people who did tier lists and did a tier list on their own on the tier list of people. It's like a tier list of analysts tier list. It's confusing, I know, but here, take a look. 43,000 views. This is Yamato Cannon, by the way. Like, this is not an organization. You care, if you watch Yamato's videos, you care about Yamato Cannon. If you're watching Cloud9, you care about Cloud9, you care about Blabber, there's so much more pull. And the fact that he did 2 tier list videos culminating in about 100,000 views, and then Cloud9 did this, Cloud9 did that, oh my. This is just unacceptable. It's this is really ridiculous. This is honestly, it's hilarious. Look, Yamato Cannon is one of the few people who every day after the games push stuff. Look at this. He's gotten viewership that, I mean, I didn't get this type of viewership because I'm a lot smaller and not all my interviews are in the thousands and most of his videos are in thousands, but he's one person. Imagine every single LCS org did this. Like, you would have had cumulatively in the millions of views and impressions, you would have had tens of millions of impressions. So many people, you could have like made them aware of Cloud9 or become a fan of Cloud9 or become a fan of one of your players. Maybe now they actually watch. Maybe this is the push to get them to watch LCS. Maybe they didn't watch MSI, like LCS for such a long time, but the fact that MSI was on and it was like T1 versus G2 and they actually watched that game and then they saw Blabber talk about it, and next time LCS is there, they're actually going to go and watch a game. That's what brought them back to LCS. You don't think that way, but at the end of the day, your social presence is what makes you relevant. And you are so irrelevant right now. It's so crazy to me. You've lost all your relevancy. I'm going to go to Social Blade just to show you. Social Blade, not Horizon Esports, but whatever. See, that's some innovative content. I agree. That is Yamato. Let me see how he spells his name. Okay. No spaces. Yamato Cannon. All right. In the last 30 days, he's gotten, this is probably really inaccurate, by the way. There's probably double, 2 times more than this, but he's gotten over 1 million views. Like, he's probably gotten around 1 million views during MSI. And that's not even counting his Twitch, because he streams on Twitch and he's big on that. This is just YouTube, by the way. You know how desperate Cloud9, Immortals, like all these teams would be for 1 million views in the span of 19 days or a month? I mean, come on. You're shooting yourself in the foot. I don't understand it. It is so frustrating. And I'll keep preaching about, I only watch Yamato during internationals because he always posts quick. Exactly. Speed, relevance. He didn't post his tier list a week late. He posted it beforehand. The game ends, dude, a couple hours later, and his video's out. Like, he understands that speed is more important than quality right now. You don't need it to go through 7 different people to make sure and confirm that they didn't say anything against their sponsors and blah, blah, blah. Like, you just do that immediately. If a mistake happens, you take that video immediately. Speed is so important in this game, especially at MSI and not Worlds. Because MSI, it's game after game after game, sometimes 2 games a day. You don't have time to like have a whole board, review it, and do, like, you don't. You need content coming out fast. And guess what? At the end of 19 days, how much viewership did you get? 0. It was such a huge opportunity. I got myself over 200,000 views. And again, I'm just to explain, I am a potato. I'm not even a YouTuber. I don't consider myself a YouTuber yet. Once I get maybe 10,000 subscribers, I'll consider myself a YouTuber. Right now, this is a hobby. It's something that I do for fun. I have a full-time job. This is crazy to me. I have a full-time job. I work full-time, and I do this on the side. And I've gotten more viewership than LCS orgs combined during MSI. It's not an exaggeration. I've looked at all their stuff. We looked at it together. I've gotten more views in terms of MSI content than every single LCS organization as a person with less than 2,000 subscribers. There's not a single LCS org that isn't bigger than me by multiples. Most of them by 10 multiples. How is this allowed? You still killing Dig and IMT as a side? Oh, wow. That's so sad. You're still killing Dig and IMT as a side hobby. Dignitas have a professional team working with them. But okay, I can get Dignitas because they got rid of like most of their players and stuff. So I can see why they didn't do stuff. But like XU was there. It would have been very sad. But come on, he's in LA. I know he is because he's at his girlfriend's place was in LA. Each day you could have had him do like a 5-minute recap, 30-second recap, anything recap, man. It would have, first of all, would have built his brand, and maybe he would have been in a better position right now. And yeah, I feel like I've beaten this horse to death, but I still have rage inside of me because I'm frustrated that the organizations that I love, like the league that I care about, is doing nothing. Just so you know, Travis Gafford has not done a single interview, right? He hasn't had any LCS like interview not LCS, any MSI interviews. He only had his Hotline League. So I'm going to go to Travis's account. Now, again, Travis Gafford, he's not an LCS org. He's not at their size. And I understand that a lot of the viewership actually comes live. This is just post LCS, like post live. Yeah. So this is the VOD. That's the word I was looking for. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos in regards to MSI with a total of 7. Oh, I'm not showing this, am I? Someone's got to beat that horse. Yeah. Here. So he had, this one was about 12,000, 16. So that's about 30, just like generously rounding up. Another 30 here. That's 60. And then let's just say another 30 here. He had 90,000 views just from the VODs. This is not including, I don't know if he posted any shorts, but yeah, it doesn't look like he posted any shorts. Like the live stream, the Twitch VOD probably gets some stuff. He probably gets some membership. Like there's so much here in 6 videos that probably around 100,000 views. Why could a whole organization not do this? This is one man. I know he has guests on and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's Travis' channel. And the fact that he can do this, but a whole LCS organization can't, what does that speak to? Someone's got to beat the horse. Yeah. Like, the thing is, I know that this is not going to make any effect because we had Disguised come in and show them that, like, this is what kind of how you content create, because at the end of the day, we're entertainers. And I love Jack for this. And I think this is part of the reason Cloud9 started actually doing better content. Jack was like, look, we are competitors and we don't really get the entertainment side, and we're excited to see what Disguised has to bring because we can learn. We can learn about how to be more entertainers. And then Steve was like, oh yeah, that's just like a gimmick. We want to be like this brand, like so 1990s. Like, it's so frustrating. I'm not in the business of convincing. I'm just yelling at clouds because I'm Cloud. But yeah, I'm not in the business of convincing because I don't think I can. I think even when you see results of this, like, look, Hotshot understands this. 100 Thieves main channel, 1 million subscribers. 100 Thieves League, Nothing. Dead channel. Look at, he was part of Optic, by the way. How did Hotshot become the biggest COD like player in the world? Streaming, making content. He posted a video every single day on YouTube. He understands this, yet they don't do it. I don't understand why. It's just stupid to me. And I know that he pivoted away and that's like not his focus, and that's probably why he's not doing it. But like, you've seen teams like Optic do this. You understand how it works, and yet you choose not to. You want viewership? Create it. It's in your hands. Funny thing about Travis too is he usually posts way more during events than he did. Yeah, he was like experimenting to see what it's like to be off, especially since the time wasn't great. I'm sure if it was in Europe, maybe he would have been able to do a little bit more stuff. But yeah, he couldn't do it, so, or he didn't want to. Like, I don't think he had a sponsor to fly out to China. He didn't want to do it online. Whatever. I mean, that was his decision. I don't blame him for not wanting to wake up at 2 a.m. every single morning and like stay awake for much longer than most people, because I mean, yeah, he doesn't have enough. I don't know. His decision, not mine. Normally he does get a lot more viewership because he gets opportunity to chat with more people. Ashley King like got like 6,000 subscribers or something crazy like that from her YouTube channel. Nate Chop basically said League wasn't worth the effort. Paraphrasing a lot, but he said something along those lines. Not surprised. But like there are people that are working there, right? Sure, maybe he doesn't want to put his focus there, but what about the people that are actually focused on it? I don't know. Maybe they just don't have any. I don't know. This is sad. Because it definitely can be. It definitely can be very lucrative. It can. These deals that you have with Puma and Nike and like Death Note and stuff like that. Right now, my understanding is that they're very small. You might think, oh my God, imagine a deal with like Nike. It's huge. Like they're probably getting millions and paying for the entire roster like 3 times around. That's not happening anymore because the viewership isn't there. It can be. It really can be. I always make this example. You think that getting a bigger social presence isn't going to do anything? Mr. Beast gets paid the most out of anyone in the world from sponsors because they know that people care about Mr. Beast. They watch his videos, and at the end of the day, that's where attention is. People watch. When Mr. Beast talks, people listen. And advertisers are willing to pay a premium for that. And you have the opportunity to grow, to have 1 million subscribers, so that when Puma comes or you try to make a deal with them, you're like, look, these people, we have 1 million people that care about us. We average like 10 million views. People care about us. And so you're getting all this attention. We want better terms. Like even LCS, like if you could go to Riot and be like, look, we have more viewership than on average than every single other team combined. We think we know what we're doing. This is what the league needs to do. Don't you think the league is going to take that a little seriously? Like, look at how much negotiation power you have when you're like so much bigger than everyone else, and you get it, and everyone else doesn't. It's sad, but bringing awareness to how little the orgs try helps. Yeah, I do it because someone. I mean, it's not like people don't talk about this. People do, but I do it because I'm passionate about it, and I understand that it really isn't going to do anything. Like no LCS org is going to listen to this and be like, oh, wow, you're right. Or like, hey, let's have a discussion. I don't think that's even possible. Because, yeah, like I said, convincing people is not that easy. Even if I were to somehow do it myself, or Shopify were to come in, after a year, they really set themselves up and they do it really well, right? They understand the game, they do it well, and they become the most popular team within 2 years. And they dwarf everyone else. They're going to look at it and they're going to be like, oh, it's because it's Shopify. Or they might be like, oh, they're really good at making content. That's not what we're doing. And just what is it? The ostrich that puts its head into the sand and just like does its own thing, pretends like everything else isn't there. The other thing is like a lot of these teams, I understand partially. Like I know I'm not giving them enough credit because there's a few aspects. I'll talk about it. The first, when Riot forced the teams to franchise, that meant that you had to get investors. And when you get investors and you have to sell part of your company, blah, 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 what ends up happening is a couple things. First, these investors start having a say into how you run stuff. You start have to be becoming more corp corporation. And in general, if you're going to hire someone who understands what they're doing, they're going to be old. They're not going to understand esports as it is. They're not going to understand the Twitch meta and the YouTube. Like, they just don't. They're marketers who understand that it takes 9 months to make an ad, and they're really old school. They don't understand modern marketing. They don't. That is just Fortune 500 companies still do this. Coca-Cola still does this. They will pay for television ad instead of Pepsi, like what Pepsi does, for example. What Duolingo, everybody knows Duolingo. Duolingo sucks for language learning. And yet everybody knows it. And yet the stuff that actually matters and teaches you a language, nobody knows. That's because they're good at marketing. And you're just not relevant. You're not relevant. You don't. And back to the point, the people that they hire, that they work with, don't understand this. And they have to do it that way because that's the person they're investing with, right? They have some sort of stake. And they don't really care about fans. Because when you go to an investor and be like, hey, I need $10 million, they're going to be like, what are you going to give me in return? I don't want you to give me $11 million in return. That's not worth my time. If I'm making this huge gamble, I want a huge return. I want 100 million. I want you to times 10 times 20 this. And really, building your fan base takes a long time, right? It's not something that you can do in a day or two. And they're looking for these quick, 10 times your money in 60 days kind of thing. And so you have to do these insane leaps of faith. And so it really doesn't matter. It's not worth it to invest in building a community because your incentive is building your evaluation, right? Evaluating yourself at 400 million, even though you're really not worth that, because you can fudge the numbers and make it seem like you're a lot bigger than you are. And that becomes the priority. And what ends up happening is that fans suffer because of that. Because at the end of the day, you have to answer these people who you owe money to, right? And if you can't do it, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter if you grow to 1 million, concurrent view. Well, okay, if you had 1 million concurrent viewers, we'd be talking differently. But it doesn't matter if you double in size, because at the end of the day, that's not what they want. They want times 10, times 50, times 100. That's what you promised them. You made this amazing deck that promised all these returns. Riot promised that this was going to happen. And so you went to your investors and explained that to them. And you're in a situation where building fandom doesn't matter. Riot made that happen. And now they're trying to change it. Now they're saying, hey, look, your social presence is going to be a part of how much we pay you. It's just a little too late. And my guess is that next split, not this upcoming split, but next year, we're going to merge with LLA and CBLOL, and it's going to be very sad. And I really don't want to see that happen, and I pray that it doesn't happen, but it looks like it's coming. Well, I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen, but Riot has said stuff, and it hasn't happened. I don't know. We had there was supposed to be a tournament between NACL and CBLOL around this time, and we were supposed to get more information. We haven't heard anything about it. It hasn't happened. I don't know if they're just saying stuff to say stuff, but yeah, merger looks very likely. RIP. I agree. RIP. It's sad. It's sad, but it's true. But it's very sad, especially because League of Legends viewership is increasing. If people stop watching the game, forget playing the game. If people stop watching the game, I'd be like, okay, I understand. 3 years ago, we had 3 million people watch MSI. This year, we had 1 million people. I think it's a problem in marketing. Maybe the game isn't as good as it used to be. Whatever. There's so many reasons behind that. But the fact that international viewership keeps growing means that people care. And you might be like, oh, well, it's mainly Eastern fans. Well, you can be very popular in North America and have Eastern fans. And you can grow and get more North American fans. You can I understand that your sponsors might not like that, but then you can get different sponsors. You can find different ways. You can try and do what Team Liquid did with their Team Liquid Plus, was it called? Or Cloud9 Stratus, I think it was called. They have these programs. There's so many different ways to drive viewership. Just the mere fact that LCS day-to-day doesn't have watch parties because of how crowded it is and people can't get tickets is very sad. And I like what David is doing with watch parties in New York. I think once he grows, I think that's something that could grow very, very easily. Not easily, but over time it can grow. It's a very good idea, but I do think that the LCS needs to have its viewership increase as well. People need to care to watch the games as well. And I think that I'm I have my eye on what David is doing with that, because at some point I'm going to go down to New York just to attend one of the watch parties, just to get an idea of like how it's done and how he does it, how he runs it. Like, it doesn't seem that complicated, but I'd like to learn, right? Things I might not expect or whatever. And then I'd like to start like a Maryland sort of watch party for whenever Shopify plays, or whenever any, like, I would also need to be a lot bigger, and to see like that there being a demand for it, kind of. But it's something that I want to start as well, because yeah, other teams aren't doing it. It's very sad. I do want to be a pioneer in showing teams things they didn't know, or they did know but aren't doing, like collaborations, like what I was talking about with like boba shops and stuff like that. I might not do it with like Shopify because I'm not part of Shopify, but like, I don't see why I couldn't do something like that, where I could, if I'm popular enough in Maryland, or I can find someone who's popular in Maryland who also likes League of Legends, and we can be like, hey, come watch the Shopify game, and at the same, like at a boba shop or something, and have the boba shop put the TV on, and then like the next week, like every week that Shopify wins, for example, you have like some sort of discount on your order. Like Dunkin' Donuts, for example, whenever the Ravens win, they have like a $1, or they have a specific donut. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But whenever the Baltimore Ravens win here in Maryland, they'll like give you, I think, a discount on like your donuts, something like that. I don't remember. I haven't been there for a while. But like, there's clear motivation for you to go. I would straight up just go there because the Ravens won, even though I'm not a Ravens fan, because I know that, hey, I'm going to get a good deal on donut. It's cheap, tastes good. They had their like Baltimore Raven flavored. It was like just custard, and like it looked like the logo, and it was cool. And I think that I would like to do stuff like that in Maryland, because that's stuff that I wish I had. Oh, who's that? Sorry, 1 second. I wish I had people like, oh, I don't know who that is. Oh well. I wish I had active opportunities to like show my support for the teams, for Shopify, for any, honestly, even if it was like freaking Immortals, if they did something here, I would be interested. But the fact of the matter is, like, it really never matters. Okay, how many K-barbecue like stores would be so blessed and would love to do activations with League of Legends teams? Like, League of Legends and K-barbecue like go hand in hand. It's such an easy collab to do. And to just be like, okay, halfway through the split, just have a fan meet at a Korean barbecue place. Or like hire one of your interns, grab one of your interns, and start like a LA Cloud9 club, where every like Wednesday you go to a library, or you go to like a donut shop or a boba shop or whatever, and you talk about Cloud9 League of Legends or whatever. Like, there's so much you can do. Or with their league, their Stratus thing that they did, it could have been something like that, where like if you pay, you have access to us like once a week. We would come down towards the end. You can come and take pictures with the players, but they're only gonna be there for 5 minutes. So like, it's not whatever it is. There's so much you could have done that you didn't do. Come talk to our managers. See behind the scenes of stuff. We have stories to tell you. You're not activating the fans that are there. You're not activating the fans that aren't there. You're not activating at all during MSI. What are you doing? How are you being paid? Can you pay me? I'd love to get paid to do nothing. It's better than my full-time job. I have to do stuff there. It's sad, but it's true. I'm very disappointed in there wasn't a single team. You know, if there was one team that did it, it would be not as disappointing. And I probably wouldn't be talking about this. I'd be talking about Faker being inducted to the Hall of Legends. But not a single team did anything. Well, okay, Team Liquid did some stuff. But still, it wasn't what we were thinking. These are all good ideas. They know this. That's the other thing. It's not like they don't know this stuff. You hired a marketer. They should know this. You either need to fire that person and get someone better, or that person needs to actually make their ideas happen. And I know how corporations work, but there's so much red tape and so much like bureaucracy that doesn't need to exist that happens. A lot of reasons why you see creators being so much bigger than organizations is because when a creator has an idea, he does it. And when an organization has an idea, it dies. It takes so much time. At the end of the day, it's a butchered, bastardized, like soulless version of what it should be. And honestly, That's it. Why does Cloud9 take over a week to post a video after MSI started? That thing was probably shot a week before MSI too. Like, chances are it took them 2 weeks to get a video approved and onto their League of Legends YouTube channel. That's ridiculous. You know how long it takes for Yamato Cannon to post that? Hours. Literally, less than hours. Editor just has to do some stuff, get a really good title and thumbnail, and post it. That's all you need. And really, like, I understand why that happens that way, but I had a whole stream where I was just talking about collaborations and how League of Legends is a video game, but it's more than a video game. It has its whole IP. How cool would it be if you got Necrit and your league team and just had like a show where Necrit like talks about your favorite champion and gives a little bit of lore and makes like a really cool video about that, because he understands how to make cool videos. You don't. And you had like just blabber talking about it. You had like 5 episodes, one with each one of your player, and talking about like AD champions and how they relate to each other, and how Kaisa and Shurima might have some relationship. The Void, talk about Sivir and Azir. Like, there's so much cool stuff you can do, right, with people who are content creators in the League of Legends sphere, not just like professional league, but in the lore. What about the music? You know that there's so much music about League of Legends. You could do like. Go to musicians, have them listen for the first time to Gods and react to it, and have the players like be like, oh, by the way, when you listen to Rise, it's actually a story about Core JJ, or the team that he was on, right? Team Liquid. Like, there's some really cool musicians that are up and coming, that are on TikTok, that are famous on TikTok, but not famous enough for the world to know them. But they're still more relevant than you are. And yet you're not doing anything with musicians. The League music used to be so big. Art. You know how many people do art, like League art? It's such a big field, so much bigger than League of Legends, and yet you haven't done anything with that. Get an artist, like food. Broxa tried to do like some sort of Team Liquid tried to do with Broxa, this connecting League and food. You could hire a chef and have him make meals. Like a whole series of like, I might do this honestly. Like, screw it. I'm not a chef though. I hate cooking. That's the problem. But meals that might exist in League of Legends. Be like, this is what a meal in Shurima looks like. This is what a meal in the Void might look like. And just like everything being purple. Like freaking straight up just like food color your steak. There's so much you could do that's just like straight up League related, and then there's stuff other games. The reason I'm a Mango fan is because I saw him on a video with Cloud9 like high. The reason I'm a Leffen fan is because I don't play Smash, but for a very long time I watched Smash, and I watched Mango, and I watched Leffen, and I watched Hungrybox, because I saw them interacting with League of Legends. And that's why I watched Smash for like years. And I was always a Leffen fan. But Smash is huge, and I'm sure that there are Smash players that want to become. I'm sure there are Overwatch or Dota players that would be interested in like learning about League of Legends, or would be really cool to see their favorite Dota player with. And then this Blabber guy is actually really cool. He's like a 4-time MVP, like a champion, all this stuff. Like, there's so much opportunity, and that's just like within the gaming and like general place. It would be really cool. If you go to like a finance bro, you go to like, what's his name? Stephen Graham, I think is his name. Like, you get him. I think he lives in LA if I'm not mistaken. He's done stuff with other like streamers and stuff. You get him to talk to a player about financial like literacy and about credit cards and stuff like that. You get Jan or APA who understands nothing about life and talk about credit cards and like different type of credit cards, and this is how much you can make on a YouTube channel. Dude, that video would pop off. Stuff like that, collaborations are so dead. You know how many, like, do a collaboration where you allow the likeness of the logo of Team Liquid, or maybe a player, maybe like a fan art, a design, an idea, do some sort of collaboration with Etsy. Like, by the way, Etsy YouTubers are huge. They get millions of views. These people who just like make designs, sell them on Etsy. It's such a huge field that you could collab with. I know I'm just going through idea after idea, but they do none of this. This is just like, to me, I feel like all these stuff are related to, it's already stuff that you can see is related to League of Legends or the players. It's not even stuff where like you're doing something with a dancer. And like, I guess K-pop exists. There's some sort of connection. Oh, finance guy explains money to Zoomers. I know. Who would not want to see APA like yap or yeah. There's so many memes that could be made of that stuff. But instead, we're probably going to get another like gaming house tour. Yippee! Look at this. This is so cool. This is my room. Again, I'm not saying don't do that. Do that and do the other stuff. It's not you should only do one or the other. It's you should be doing both. Give me your room tour. That's super cool. Not as cool as it used to be, but it's still cool. I still want to see that. But I also want to see you collabing with like doing like your own pros. Why is LCS doing pros and APA not have his own podcast where after the games, I think they tried to kind of do that where they would like review their games, but I would like to see it to be a little bit more consistent. And maybe a little bit more, facts. Yeah, I think they're onto something, at least Team Liquid and Cloud9. But I'd like to see a little bit more consistent. I like to see the speed of the videos. I'd like to see better titles and thumbnail. Like, it's not just about the content ideas. Anyone can have idea. There are some phenomenal video ideas that are out there, but execution is very important as well. Like, you need to understand how YouTube works. You need to respect the platform. What works on Twitter and TikTok does not work on YouTube and Reddit. Like, they're fundamentally different places. When you go to the mall and you dress like you're going... what's the like a military outfit to the mall, like that might not be the place to wear that. People might think you're in the mill, like, and go and play video games. Like there's a time and place to how you act. When you're at a fancy restaurant, maybe you act a little bit differently than when you're at McDonald's. There's time and place, and you need to respect that. Similarly, on platforms, on Twitter and Instagram, they're different. Like when I'm on LinkedIn and I see a post, if I see like a TikTok-esque meme, that's not going to live there because the mindset that you have when you're on LinkedIn is very different. You're probably going to see like, oh my God, I'm a CEO of this company that I just started and I'm going to become the most popular, blah, blah, blah. Like that's the stuff that you expect to see. Whereas when you're on TikTok, you expect to see, ha ha, look at me, smork, smork, oink, oink. Like that's what you expect to see. And if you're not respecting the best practices of YouTube, YouTube's not going to push that video out because it's going to say, hey, look, I pushed it out to 3 people. They didn't click on it. I pushed it out to your mega fans. They didn't click on it. Why would I push this out to anyone else? Why would I bother to let other people and burn their eyes with your crappy content? When there's this other person who knows what they're doing and understands what people want, what makes people click. You need both. You need the content and you need to package it well because packaging matters. And they know this because was it Vagar V2 who was mentioning this? No, it must have been like Peter. No, it was Kelsey Moser, whatever. Some coach was saying sometimes you can prepare the most accurate, like a great presentation about what BLG is doing in their lane swaps or like what Gen G are doing in lane assignments post 20 minutes. And if it's not full of colors and diagrams and just like, figures and arrows and bullet points, they're not going to learn anything. It's just going to go way above their head because it's not visually pleasing. The packaging matters sometimes more than the idea itself. Like you could maybe give them 60% of the content that you wanted to share with them regarding like what's happening with really good packaging. And that'll probably do them more benefit than if you didn't have very good packaging, but you had a phenomenal presentation, a 15-page research essay on, scouting for T1 and how to avoid dying to them pre 15 minutes or how to get kills pre 15 minutes, kind of like how G2 with their level 1s like caught out Faker multiple times. You could have an amazing presentation and they won't even pay attention because it looks bad. I'm not saying that's like it's sad, but at the end of the day, that's the world we live in, and unless you actively like recognize the world you're living in and treat it the way it is and not just pretend that, oh, in an ideal world, it should work this way. In an ideal world, I should post a video 7 days late about MSI tier lists after 4 teams have already been eliminated. I think 4 teams had been eliminated at that time. Yeah. And it should get me 1 million views. I don't know why people don't care about this anymore. Ah, meu Deus. Okay, I think I I rented. Wait, I've rented for. Oh, okay. I thought that said 4 hours. Okay, it's an hour and 14 minutes. I could talk about this for 4 hours. That's the sad part. And then obviously not just that, but social presence. What they don't understand as well is social presence is actually content. You make a very well thought out comment on a video, and that might be your best performing like piece of content that whole week. That comment got you more followers, more engagement, more fans, more people talking about Cloud9 than maybe T1 after they beat G2. Or maybe after TL lost to TES. Like, people are talking more about Cloud9, even though Team Liquid was the one that just played and disappointed everyone. But people are talking about Cloud9 more because of that one witty comment. That's the reach that we live in. And I don't know why they don't utilize it. I think, actually, I will say this. FlyQuest Twitter is really good. I'm not very good at Twitter myself. I'm not going to go around preaching that I understand Twitter. Look at me. I don't understand Twitter very well. I was looking at FlyQuest. FlyQuest, I think, are pretty good at their Twitter game. I'm looking at their FlyQuest, their Twitter. I'm gonna look to tweets and replies. I'm just gonna share my screen actually, so you guys can see. Here, MSI was a couple days ago, so May 13th. Yeah, they really didn't talk much, did they? Like, there's not a single response to people. They haven't. They're not part of the conversation. How do you expect people to talk about you when you're not part of the conversation? They did post some stuff. Like, I'm not saying they didn't do anything. But at the end of the day, you're not doing enough. This guy's being paid full time? Probably to do a lot of stuff. I understand how this works, but still, like, this is pretty funny. Okay, they did talk about this. What did you have? Yeah, this is pretty funny. They just need to do a lot more than that. A lot more than that. Posting is one thing, commenting is another, and I think they did a pretty good job at like posting. They've done a lot of posts during MSI. I'm not complaining about that on Twitter. But it's not just Twitter. It's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like all these places, TikTok. You need to be everywhere. You need to be commenting, talking, responding to reply. Look at how many people talk. Like, you didn't respond to a single one of these? Come on. You didn't respond to a single one. There were 30 of these, and probably like 10 or 15 of them, yeah, porn bots or whatever. But like, look at all this. You didn't respond to any of them. This is whole person giving like an essay and you didn't even say anything. Did they even like it? Can I see? Okay. Oh, well, he said embarrassing, so probably not. What about this one? Did they like this? How do I check who liked this again? Do I click here? No, I didn't mean to like it. I thought you could see who liked was it here? View quotes? No, I want to see. Oh, there we go. View likes. Yeah, FlyQuest didn't even like it. Like, they don't even interact with people who are interacting with you. Someone took time out of his day to come and say something about you and you just ignored it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, quality rant. If orgs do nothing else, respecting the algorithm platform would be awesome for fans. Yeah. Anytime that they say we aren't getting views, people don't want to watch this, I wish, like, just get, like, I was going to be aggressive. Get, like, 100 pillows and just smash it on top of your head. Thanks for putting this stuff out there, man. I'm going to head out. Have a great day. Keep preaching. Thanks, Mel. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I will keep yelling at the top of my lungs about this because it's something that just needs to happen. You're not relevant, and you're complaining that you're not relevant. But you're not relevant actively, as a choice. You actively chose not to be relevant. Ah, what do we do? What do we do with these teams? Also, like, Cloud9 had this whole like show match thing, which is really cool, but I don't know why they didn't do more with it. I guess they don't do stuff with their regular day-to-day like LCS games, so why would they do more with a show match? But there's just so much opportunity to. We haven't seen anything of Thanatos. You haven't put him on camera. None of the teammates have talked about him. You've boot camped for each other for weeks now. Like, come on, man. Oh, when the split comes, we'll bring attention. Well, if you want people to actually watch you, then you need to do the backhand. That's like saying, oh, we're only going to launch the website when the website is done. Like, what does that even mean? If you want people to come on, you do like a merch drop. You do like pre-sales, right? You have like a pre-order. First of all, to see how many people are interested. Like, there's so many reasons to do pre-ordering. It makes sense. I get very frustrated at stuff like this. Very frustrated. I think the LCS doesn't do it too. I talked a lot about teams, but the LCS doesn't do it either. Like Castle tweeted, normal content day. What do you mean normal content day? Your normal content day is doing no content. Like what they're gonna spend 3 weeks making a video that's gonna come out and be like, we're ready for this next split, and nothing. Irrelevant at okay, maybe it'll be at a good time, whatever. It'll be one good piece of content instead of 100. What does one do? What does one do? Even if you just want to keep it league related, you know how many pros talk about the patch? You know how cool it would be to have Tactical talk about the new AD items? No, it wouldn't be cool. That's why we're not doing it, right? Wait. And then you're just gonna rely on handouts from League. You're just gonna rely on the you're just gonna rely on Riot to come in and save you. The thing is, they're doing such drastic changes, right? They got rid of 2 teams. They're like trying to consolidate the league. They're doing all these like major things, and all they care about is viewership. The other thing that really frustrates me is that every single thing they talk about is about viewership. All they care about is viewership. Viewership this, viewership that, viewership this. Every time we talk about something, it's about viewership, even when it has nothing to do with viewership. Like, how many times have we saw the discussion of format directly correlating to viewership? The reason we're changing format is because of viewership. Who cares about how entertaining it? Like, nothing. They don't care about anything. All they care about is viewership. Yet the things that bring you viewers, you're not doing. This is stupid. You're not relevant. You're not there. You're not posting. You're not talking. You're not tweeting. You're not doing anything. And then you're complaining about viewership because the format isn't good. Like, come on. You think the format is really going to make a difference? It's going to make a minute difference. You know what else is going to make a difference? Maybe make more content. That's going to make so much bigger difference. If I can get 200,000 views in 19 days, guess what? You can get a lot more than that. You can get 2 million in that span. You can do so much more. You're complaining about viewership when it's completely in your hands. Viewership is in your hands. Other stuff? No, not really. I'm very empathetic to that you were put in a difficult situation and that you need to negotiate with Riot on a lot of stuff. But viewership? That's on you. League viewership is on the LCS, because the LCS could do more. But when it comes to actual viewership, like your team, how many people watch you, that's on you. That's directly correlated to you. As a matter of fact, you can isolate that. You can look every time Team Liquid plays, this is the average viewership. And every time all the other teams play, and then put like an average viewership and be like, let's say Shopify has like 6,000 average viewers, whereas Team Liquid has 10. And maybe, yes, when Team Liquid plays Shopify, there's going to be a little bit more. And when Team Liquid plays, Cloud9, it's going to be a lot more, or like a little bit less when they play Cloud9. There's gonna be a lot more. You have people that you hire to figure out that data, and you can find out, okay, this is our average viewership. And yes, the Cloud9 versus Team Liquid is always gonna have more viewership. Like, I understand that, but you can you can average that out, because you're gonna have less when you play against Dignitas or Immortals. And then you can track that split over split. And look, the more content you make, the bigger that number is going to be. It's just, it is what it is. There's no way around it. You can't like lie to yourself and say that, no, that's not how it works. People care about what you're saying. They're going to watch you play. It's the same thing with streamers. Like, look, you have so many people who are zero like streamer handies, and then they start posting stuff on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and all of a sudden that becomes their full-time job. There's this guy called Woody Fruity. I think he's like a Gragas One Trick, and so many people watch him play, all because he just posted highlights on TikTok. That's all he did. He just posted stream highlights until he became popular. Now, yes, the Twitter, like the TikTok boom's not as it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and yeah, you may have missed a lot of the explosiveness of TikTok, but it's still there. The fact that Sandy, who's like some rando, I don't think he does his full-time job. Like he's a relatively small creator on Twitter, on TikTok, has a bigger viewership than freaking Team Liquid, a full organization. You know how much money they spent on that documentary for CoreJJ? I bet you Sandy spent less money on his entire channel than they did on that one video. And yet he has more viewers. He has more views, more attention. He's like more relevant. And he's one man. Probably not doing it for full time either. You hire streamers like Broxa and Midbeast and then don't utilize them. At least Cloud9 is using Meteos a little bit more now. There's so much more Meteos could and should be doing to get fans to watch Cloud9 play. You don't have a responsibility to get them to watch League of Legends. To get them to watch the LCS, nothing. To get them to watch Cloud9 play, absolutely. If they're playing in the LCS, you watch there. If you're playing at MSI, it doesn't matter. But you have no responsibility at all to watch like other teams. It shouldn't be your responsibility. Isiyaki. Who do you think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame besides Faker? Oh, deserve? I think a lot of players deserve. Who do I think is going to get is a different thing. I think Uzi is going to be the next person inducted because he's like the biggest in China or stuff. But I think there are a lot of people that deserve. Going back like super early on, I think for people who retired, I would say Score, Ambition. Those are two names that come to my mind immediately from Korea. From China, probably Uzi, Clear Love. North America, Bjergsen and Doublelift. They just have to be the first two. I don't see any other way around it. And then in EU, if Perks really retires, then it'll be Perks. Other people like, I think Froggen, is he still playing? I'd say Froggen, Alex Ich, maybe like Expect, I don't know. Diamond Prox, there we go, never mind. Probably Perks and Diamond Prox, those are probably the first few players. If I had to pick, it would have to be a Chinese. You can't really do Korea 2 years in a row. Probably Clear Love. Is it Clear Love or is it Uzi? I think I'm a Clear Love fan, so I'd say Clear Love. That's who I would put after Faker. No, it has to be Uzi. I mean, it just has to be Uzi, right? What do you think? Isiyaki. Probably Uzi? Yeah, I agree with that. I think it goes like this. I think it goes Faker, Uzi, then you're going to go to Europe. I actually have no idea who they're going to put, but probably Diamond Prox. And then you're going to go to North America. And I think they'll end up putting Doublelift, but I think you should put Bjergsen first. That's what I would do. I would probably do it that way. And then once you go back to Korea, I'd put in... Do you put Score or Ambition? Ambition won a world championship, but never won LCK. Score won the LCK, but never won a world championship. I don't know. I would... Man, that's hard. I think it has to be Ambition, even though I'm a Score fan. Because I feel like Ambition did achieve more. Overall, at the world stage. Where Score didn't really. I don't know. I'm excited to see the next. You do Ambition? Yeah, I think that's fair. My only problem... Wait, what's going on? Oh, you guys are... Wait. Oh, never mind. Okay, there we go. My main issue with the voting... See, the thing is... Are they measuring off of accolades or the impact of the game? They said all of the above. They released like a whole document about how they do it. And I think one of the things was their accolades was one thing. Their like trophies, the impact on the game itself. Oh, you literally said that. Yeah, the impact and the influence that they have. That's why I would put Bjergsen over Doublelift because Bjergsen had a bigger impact, in my opinion. He straight up like shifted the way people play League of Legends. I think Huni is another person like people don't talk about. Impact when he retires has to be there. Puma and Do, honestly, Mada. There's so many people that change the game. I think Mada might have to be first before Ambition and Score because he actively changed how the world played the game. Because I'd be like Insect, Expecse, Mad Life, who all didn't have a lot of accolades but had crazy ass plays. That's true. I think more than that, they changed how the game was played during their time. So like impact on the game rather than accolades. I think it has to be a combination of both. Maybe I missed it, but they didn't say who this panel of voters is. Like, who are these people that are voting and making these decisions? Because we need to know. They need to be public, and honestly, they need to defend their reasoning. No one's gonna argue that Faker shouldn't be, right? If you're allowing current players, then Faker, right? If Faker is in the pool, it's Faker. But I still think that these people. Let me look at the tweet right now, just because I have it open. LOL Esports? Was it published on the LOL Esports page or was it the LCS? Here, okay. Visit LOL Esports. Hall of Legends. Yeah, it says experts. Every year, LOL Esports will induct pro players into the Hall of Legends to honor their achievements. Players are chosen by an independent voting panel of esport industry veterans and experts from every region who select players based on criteria including international berths, international and regional titles, role-specific stats, and overall contributions to the sport. Inductees will be memorialized, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't say who. Why do we not know who? Who's this panel? They might be like, oh, well, it changes. Sure, it can change, but we still want to know who it is. Lamal, yeah. I'm very frustrated that we don't get to see who's voting. Because, like, why would you not share that information? What are you hiding? Like, does John Needham have a say? Was that part of it? Like, John Needham did comment about it. Was he a part of the voting? Because he's definitely not an expert. And he's not, what else did he say? Esport industry veteran. Sure, he's been in there for a long time, so maybe they consider him a veteran, right? But it's independent voting panel, so it can't be someone from there. Unless it is, and they just don't want to, like, why are you not telling me who's voting? Who's making these decisions that will last in perpetuity, literally immortalizing greatness? I feel like you have a responsibility to share that. I'm actually going to tweet that out. Who are the members of this independent voting panel? I can't spell decisions. All right. That's probably the only thing that frustrates. I'm actually super okay with Faker being the only one, and it's John. Dude, there's no way. There's no way. Like, they're not going to do that, are they? Honestly, knowing Riot Games, they could do anything. You know what's funny? Oh, this would be hilarious. If they tallied all, like, they got like 15 different people, right? Let's say A through J, which is not 15, I know, but whatever. A through M. All these people gave their vote, and then at the end of the day, they don't actually talk to each other. So A doesn't know who B through D are, or through M are. So it's like, it might be me and you, but I don't know that you're on there, and you don't know that I'm on there. At the end of the day, they just ask me who I think, and I put my vote. And I think that my vote actually matters, but in reality, they just don't even look at the votes, or maybe they take it for inspiration. So like, if I'm the Korean expert, I might have put Mada, like, after Faker. Like, the next one, I might put Mada. And then you're like, well, we actually think we want to do Mad Life instead. And even though the vote was like 6 votes for Mad Life and 20 votes for Mada, we prefer Mad Life. So we're going to put Mad Life because we want to sell a fresh skin. Like, oh man, I can totally see Riot doing that. And we wouldn't know because I didn't know you were the one that voted. I don't know how many votes there were. I don't know how many people there are. That's such a Riot thing to do. Oh, that's so messed up. That's such a Riot thing to do. Yeah, I'm not against voting Faker. Like, Faker is the exception to the rule. Faker is the only person who is currently playing who should be in the Hall of Legends, and Faker should be the first person. The reason people are like, oh, well, I understand their arguments. And like, if you want the prestige of sports, then maybe you should take a little bit of what they do and how they do it. And like the prestige behind Hall of Fame, you're like kind of getting rid of that. I just disagree. I think he's so exceptional that he deserves it. I don't think, yeah, that's just my opinion. Sounds like something that they'll do. Vayne Uzi skin, yeah, it's just make money. What people will probably vote for like Clear Love or Messiah or something, and then they end up doing Uzi because they wanted the Vayne skin. I wonder if the player gets to pick which skin. Because like, what if Uzi gets like his Lucian and Vayne skin, but like he didn't want Lucian, he wanted Kai'Sa. He wanted Kai'Sa and Vayne, or he didn't even want Vayne. He wanted like he probably wants Vayne, but I wonder who makes that decision. I'm sure they talk to the player somehow, some way. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that like, hopefully in time they will clarify. Because I'm not like suspicious right now, but I know I will be because it's Riot Games. And whenever they don't say something, there's a reason. There goes discussion. Hey, Omni. There goes discussions. Yeah. I think it would be really cool to have like, maybe not Faker, but the next person, to have like all the people that were listed and why they decided on this person. Like, don't say why you don't think the other person. And normally players respect the marketing aspects of Riot. They're going to do the champ that sells the most. Yeah. Hey, Simon, they should get to choose, right? I mean, if you're being inducted to the Hall of Fame, then you should be able to choose what champion represents you. No? Well, I don't know that like Faker got 2 skins, right? Do they get only 1 skin? Or do you get like 1 skin that represents you? Like your legacy skin, and then you get to pick another skin. Like what if what represents Faker was LeBlanc, but he wanted the Ahri skin? Or maybe, I don't know. Like I would have assumed Ryze. Ryze is a pretty Faker champion, right? So I don't actually know how it works. I would love to get more clarity on how that, the skin selection, the voting panel, like who are the ones that are voting, probably like who are the nominees. How does the voting work? Is it just like you pick one person, each person picks one person? Or is it like, these are my top 3, 1 through 3, and then the aggregate, the person with the less points, the person with like the, ends up, or like the highest person is the one that gets voted? Like, how does it work? There's so many questions that I have unanswered. And like I said, right now I'm not really suspicious or anything, but I do think that in the future it could be weird, and I'd like for clarification now. It says, I see Yaki says, problem is that Faker already has a bunch of skins, Ryze being one. Oh, that's true. There is a T1 Ryze, or SKT Ryze. Yeah, that's an issue. Well, I guess Uzi doesn't have to worry because he never got a skin, unfortunately. There's only a few players that actually have to worry about that, which is funny. Do you have to, here's another question. Do you have to induct every single champion? Every person who won Worlds? Because like, Xiaohu never won Worlds. But I would put him into the Hall of Fame before like Baolan, or before like who was it? Who's another person that won that, like, was it Ghost? Was Ghost the one who won with Damwon Kia with? Or yeah, Damwon? Like, there are some players who, I don't want to say didn't deserve to win, but like were not the best in the role, and definitely not Hall of Fame worthy just because they won Worlds, right? Like Kingen won Worlds. Does he still get Looper, for example? Does Kingen get into the Hall of Fames, like, I don't know, 20 years from now or something? With this current, like if he retired today, would he be eligible to be in the Hall of Fame? Now he's going to have an Ahri skin for his most recent Worlds. Yeah. I don't think they should, like Looper won. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what the criteria is. Like, the criteria is very vague. I'm okay with that, actually. I think I want to know how the voting actually works. And I want to know who tallies up the votes, like how the vote actually happens. It's not necessarily, like I said, it's not that I'm suspicious now. It's just that I think that it would go a long way of making the future nominees understandable. Because like if someone we didn't know becomes inducted, or someone we didn't think would be inducted, having clarity into why or how that process went about, who are the people that actually did it, who are the people that voted for Faker, who are the people that voted for Insec, I think that's very important. And I don't like the fact that it's hidden right now, and I really hope we find out. I don't think we will, at least in the foreseeable future, because it's Riot Games. But I'd really like to find out who are these people that are voting, how are they voting, who's tallying up the votes, when does this vote happen, and maybe a little bit more on the criteria. Are you focusing more on older players or more recent players? Because like if you're focusing on older players, you might go with like Mad Life and Mata. But if you focus on more recent, you might go Ambition and Score, right? Even though I guess they're like, yeah, Mad Life and Score or Ambition is a very good example. If your idea is like we want to get the people who are most removed and then sort of catch up, then that's one thing. I'd like a little bit more clarity. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I don't feel bad right now. It's just a little vague, and I can see a world where people are just complaining like, how the hell did this person get picked instead of Uzi or Clearlove from China? I think they should take turns each year so that they can pay homage to back then. We couldn't get here without what they did. You mean like 1 year going all the way back to 2012 and then 1 year, or like 2011 and then 1 year more recent? I can see that. I think it would be really cool to like backfill, you know? So like if you want one person to be in the Hall of Fame each year, what you do is like the first few years, you do 2 inductees. And then eventually, once you hit like maybe around 20, like season 18, 19, you go back to just doing 1. Because like there was 14 years or 13 years now where we didn't have any induction of people into the Hall of Fame, which I guess makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I would like, the thing is, there are players from so many regions, and maybe you do 2. One from Korea, China, next year EUNA, then Korea, China, EUNA. Do you pick players that are like retired from other regions? Like Kami is like the biggest retiree I can think of. BRTT maybe as well. 1 inductee seems too slow. I agree, Simon. Like it's hard to catch up to all the like 13 years where we have like more than one region. I really want to know, are they going to put like when Maple retires, does he make it to the Hall of Fame? Karsa made it to World Finals. And, well, he played on a Chinese team. Maple did too. So yeah, that's something like when Karsa retires, does he make the like LMS or what is it called now? PCS Hall of Fame? Does Maple make it that way, or does he have to do it through China or North America? Like, is there a year where China doesn't get an LPL player because Maple or Karsa got it? And I understand they're LPL players now, but like, for example, Peanut, when he retires, he played in LPL and LCK. Do you only take it based on his home region? What about Bjergsen? He never played in EU. He played in EU, but he's like North America through and through. Is it where the player retired? There's so many questions I have about this, actually. Warning, the stream's current bitrate, 2764, is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend you use a stream bitrate of 6800. Is that something I should worry about? Am I losing frames or something? I actually don't know anything about bitrate. It says here that I have 0 dropped frames. So I'm assuming this is okay? Lol. Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't seen this comment before, but it seems like it's fine. Okay, all right. I won't worry about it then. The thing is, I have really old monitors, and they have my monitor. I don't know. Maybe it's just me not understanding how this works, but my monitor is not 1900. Sorry, is it 19? It's like 1920 by 1080. Is that? Yeah, it's not 1920 by 1080. It's 1920 by 1200. And so I have to set my display that way because otherwise there's like empty space in the bottom, which is really weird. I don't know why my monitor is set to that ratio. Like that's the size of it. I don't know if I can change that, but like when I'm streaming in OBS and I'm streaming my screen, let me show my screen again. Like there's, wait, can you see my mouse? Oh, you can't see my mouse. Let me do this actually. Let me do this so you guys can see my mouse, and then you can tell me what I'm doing wrong. Where is it? Here, right? You can see like my mouse is here, but I still have a bunch of like I can see what's going on here. It's not like it's outside the screen. You just can't see it. And I can actually just do this. Like, look at how much extra space there is. Well, you can't see that because my monitor is not 1920 by 1080. And I don't remember. I tried changing it at some point. And I think the reason I didn't, there's a reason I keep it this way, because like when I try to make it 1920 by 1080, which is the regular size that everyone knows, it was like really weird. The proportions were cropped out or something like that. I don't remember, but it's just really weird. Eventually, I do want to get new monitors and stuff, but right now I don't have the money for that kind of stuff. So just got to deal with it. It's very minute. It's like such a small nuisance. It's not really a nuisance, to be honest. It doesn't affect me very much, but I know that it's like a little awkward, a little weird. So I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, I yapped my face off. I talked so much about Teams, LCS not doing enough during MSI and the content and like just being relevant. You can enjoy my yapping. If you'd like, go back and watch it. But I think that's it for me. I also talked about like Hall of Fame and whatnot. So I think I hit the things that I wanted to hit. Monday, I think I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not 100% sure, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm on Mondays and Wednesdays at this time, 3 p.m. EST. I go for between an hour and 2 hours. I usually don't go over 2 hours, but sometimes when I'm talking about my hate for Team Liquid, I do go over. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Just caught the tail end. Hey, Copy Pasta. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy my rant earlier on about LCS teams. I went through every single team and looked at what content they made during MSI and just facepalmed so many times. It'll be fun. Enjoy. I'm going to head out though. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys later.